Hi, this is Sanjana from Mockat, where you get directly mentored and coached by 99.9 plus percentilers. Today we are going to talk about DILR, about how to boost your scores in mocks, especially if you're still not getting a single case or you're not able to identify the easy case. Now, the DILR section itself is tougher than verbal and quant. That's because this is not something that we've studied in school. You might have had some placement aptitude or some other practice, or maybe you like puzzles or Sudoku. But CAT DILR is something which is far tougher, and the format itself where we have 4 to 5 cases, so that means that you need to solve an entire case fully to get some questions. That adds an additional layer of complexity. So given that, how do you find the easy case in mock? So I'm going to tell you 5 different types of cases which could be easy, and I'll also tell you a couple of case types which you might want to avoid, especially in the beginning. Next, we'll talk about how can you guaranteed solve at least 1 to 2 sets in mocks and then in the actual exam. So let's talk about 5 case types which could be easy. First is cases which are short. If they're a short read, a brief case, few clues, no or maybe very little numbers, this is something which could work. Even if it doesn't, you'll read it quickly, you'll try to solve it quickly, and you can quickly move on. The second easy type of case is a DI case, something from these topics. Now, typically CAT will always gift us one easy DI case, and high quality mocks like ours tend to replicate this pattern. Now, if this is something that you're scared of, or you feel that graphs, charts, tables are not your go-to, make sure you're putting in the time to practice. A third easy case type could be a topic that you're comfortable with. You've put in a lot of practice, so it's a familiar setup for you. And so you can probably get the structure, the framework, and solve it. At the same time, set a 10 to 15 minute target. If you are getting stuck or things are going slow, it could be that this case is hard. So you leave it, try something else, and then come back to this if time permits. A fourth type of case which is easy is cases with friendly numbers. If you have something like, 5 multiples, 10 multiples, or smaller numbers, this is something which will be easier for you for sure. If you have, primes or bigger numbers like 59, 97, things like these, this is probably the type of case which you avoid, especially if you have a tendency to make silly mistakes or there are theta questions in that. And the fifth type of case, which could be easy, is a non-standard case. A non-standard case is where they've invented some sort of a scenario or a setup. Say, there's a game or something happening in some kingdom, some set of rules. Given that the case itself is something which is new, they might have actually made it easier for you and lowered the difficulty. These are cases which sometimes feel scary, and that also could mean that paradoxically the examiners have made it easy, so that only if you're brave enough to try it out do you end up getting it right. So look out for these type of cases. And as promised, here are a couple of types of cases that you might want to deprioritize, especially in the early prep stage. One is going to be sets where there's incomplete info. Now, this is something where you'll get that from the questions. If the questions have something like, for how many of, the total people can we uniquely identify so and so, or maybe the question is giving you more information. If XYZ is, from so and so city, then which city is ABC from, right? So when you have things like these, you know that you're not going to be able to complete the case. So this could be something which you want to leave. The second type of case that you might want to avoid in the beginning, especially if you're not confident in DILR or you tend to rush or make silly mistakes, is cases where you have a lot of theta or short answer questions. See, when you have multiple choice questions, if you made some mistake, typically at least one of the questions you'll not get your right answer, and that gives you a hint that you have to go back and double check. But if it is a lot of short answer questions, then you won't know because you're just typing it in. So this again could be a type of question to avoid. Now let's come to how do you definitely get to 1 to 2 solved sets. Because DILR is something which is new, for a lot of us, guidance and coaching is something which is necessary. Practice is even more important. Go with the rule of 100. If you're solving 100 full-length CAT level sets, that typically guarantees you that 1 to 1.5 cases, which is going to be enough to clear the sectional cutoff, provided your test-taking strategy is right. If you are getting to 200 plus sets, you can actually increase the number. Now, this might seem a lot, but if you're solving one set from now all the way till CAT, that is easily 150 plus sets. Add weekly mocks and you more than double the number. For example, at MockCat, we'll have 100 plus sets when it comes to the lessons, 200 sets in mocks and sectionals, and a lot more in the practice questions, daily quizzes, score boosters, and of course the live classes. The live classes, the lessons, the mocks and sectionals all come with video solutions by Vignesh, and that helps you understand how a 99.9 plus percentiler is tackling cases. You can also interact, ask your doubts, get clarity, and these are things which will help you to solve cases quickly and accurately. And that is how you end up getting a high score in DILR and all of CAT. So check out mockcat.com or call the number on the screen if you want to get a high score in DILR and in all of CAT and get to a top B school. All the best.